It's your girl, Rebecca. I'm here as your host here for the podcast, the Reddit Randos. And I'm going to get you in on a little secret, but surprise, I have no one here today. It's actually just me. You got no one, there's no co-host, no nothing. It's just your main host here for the day. We're trying something different. We're going to try and just do some solo recordings with me. So as the holidays get here and it gets busy, we're trying something where every once in a while you might just get me, wonderful me. Yeah. So if you just hear me, it's not something that's going to happen all the time, but it is something we're going to probably throw in here and there, especially as it gets busier with the holidays. And your girl's got a life too outside of recording. I got work 40 hours a week or more, and then I also got 3 kids and a husband, and that takes a lot of time too out of my week. But for those who are new listening to this podcast, this is the Reddit Randos, where we take a bunch of random stories from the wonderful world of Reddit, and we read them to everyone. All the juicy gossip, all the crazy stories out there that honestly feel like they come out of a script of a telenovela, but it actually happens in real life as far as we know, and we get to read them all to you. So you guys don't have to go through Reddit yourself. We get to handpick a bunch of stories. Actually, not we. Because let's just be honest here. I run the show here. This was my idea. This was my little goal and dream. I'm doing this. Yeah. Everyone else, they just get to be wonderfully involved in it because they add to it. But for tonight, we have a lot of stories we're going to go through. Because it's just me, you guys get to hear even more stories. Because, let's be honest, again, I could speak for 2 people here. I talk that much. But I'm not going to try and do that too much. I'm going to try and put a little bit of my tidbit on some things. And then, we're going to go to the next story. So, should we go right into it? Yeah, I think so. Okay, so, and just before we start, for those of you who keep on listening to my recordings and my podcast and my episodes, thank you. I really do want to thank you guys and appreciate all the downloads I see from you guys. You guys are awesome. Those people I see that keep coming back for another one, you know who you are. I'm very appreciative of you guys. All I ask in return is put a comment down. Tell me who's listening. I would love to hear from you. Or you can email us. And I'll put that at the end of this episode here. But go ahead and, whatever you're listening on, like or subscribe. Or, I guess, rate. I don't know which one you guys are listening on. There's a lot of them out there. But I know Apple Podcast is a big one right now. But anything else? Just put your little 2 cents in. Doesn't really matter. I don't really care. Just want to hear from you guys because I love hearing from people. So, okay. First story is a r/AITA. So, am I the a-hole? Would I be the a-hole? Public. And this was made 15 days ago. So this one is, am I the a-hole for refusing to give up my grandmother's ring for my cousin's engagement? Ooh, okay. My grandmother passed 2 years ago and left me, 24 female, a sapphire ring that she always said she wanted to have. It's not flashy, but it's meaningful to me. My cousin, 26 female, recently got engaged. She and her fiance are struggling financially, and she asked if she could borrow, in quotes, borrow the ring as her engagement ring until they could afford one. I said no because it's sentimental and I wear it often. Now my aunt is calling me selfish and saying it's just sitting on my finger while my cousin is starting her life. Even my mom thinks I should at least lend it. But I don't want to risk losing it or never getting it back. Am I the a-hole for refusing to share the ring? So first and foremost, I don't think so. I don't think you would be the a-hole. Depends on how you responded to that request, because I do see this happening often for some people, asking if they could just borrow or wear a temporary ring in the time until they can get their own engagement ring. But in this case, this is a lot to ask you because it is someone else's ring that was given to them by their grandmother. So it's not like it's just a nothing ring, like an extra ring that you could probably buy, or I don't know, buy something on Amazon. I swear, like, why do you have to borrow someone's ring? You're always going to have then that risk of, if you lose it, you're going to feel so bad. Or, I mean, at least I would. I'd feel bad if I lost someone's ring that I was borrowing as my engagement ring. I don't know if OP knows what her cousin's like. So she's like, nah, I ain't gonna go there. Like, I know what's gonna happen. So, I don't know. I don't think it's the end of the world. Honestly, if anything, they just buy something on Amazon or their quick store that's around that's like literally $20. Yeah, it might turn your finger green, but hey, you could just say it's a replacement, or it's just temporarily until we can get an engagement ring that we like. Like, it's not that big of a deal, I think. Or the fiance shouldn't have even proposed unless he was ready for one or had something ready to place it on. Like, I'm sorry, a $20 ring is not that big of a deal. And you can find some really cute things on Temu that look very fancy. I'm currently actually wearing a temporary one until I can get mine resized. So, no shame, no shame. It happens. We all go through a bunch of things in our life. Okay, so the top comment for this. Let me see if I get it. Okay, so they said, not the a-hole. Is your aunt or mom married? If they are, then why can't they loan one of their rings to their cousins? Which, I mean, I agree with this. Why can't? Wouldn't it be more special if it came from, like, the actual aunt, her mom? Why didn't they give, like, one of their extra ones? So why does it have to be specifically the cousins who received it, inherited it from her grandma? Someone else underneath that said, do not let that ring out of your sight. You will never get it back. Let your opinionated aunt and mother pool their money and buy a stand-in engagement ring. Like, I don't see why it has to be a fancy ring if you're going to try and get an engagement ring. So just buy one really cheaply somewhere, or have the aunt and mom give you one that was like, oh, this is just an extra ring I had, but it's something you can use for right now. Like, I have a feeling you would never get this ring back, especially since it's a sentimental feeling, or sorry, sentimental, meaningful, gift that you got from your grandma. And I have a feeling they would try and justify it being better off with the cousin. And I know that sounds bad that you think that way straight away, but that's the vibe I'm getting. That's the problem. So, okay. So obviously this was 15 days ago. We have no update. But let me know what you guys think in the comments. So, we're going to go to the next one. And the next one is from r/am I the jerk. My wife wants to go no contact with our friendly woman neighbor because of a inappropriate birthday gift she gave our son. I think that's too far. Am I the jerk? And this was 21 days ago. So let's find out what this inappropriate birthday gift was. So, okay. Hi, everyone. I've been married to my wife for 10 years, and we have a 10-year-old son. A couple years ago, a woman moved into our neighborhood. She was actually a close friend of mine back in middle school, and then she moved in. It was the first time I had seen her in decades. So initially, my wife was really insecure about her because of her looks and because she picked up on her, what she called subtle behavior towards me that apparently only women notice. But But with time, my wife got over it because she realized there was really nothing going on. This neighbor had actually been very friendly toward my family. She bought us lunch and dinner multiple times, and she always been generous and warm with our family. I have never thought of her as anything more than a nice neighbor and an old friend I reconnected with. Anyways, my son's 10th birthday yesterday, she came over and gave him a Percy Jackson book. Totally age appropriate, really good book. Inside the cover, she included a handwritten note which said, "This book is all about brave heroes, just like your dad. You're so lucky to have him." When my wife saw it, she was pretty pissed. I've never seen her this heated. To be honest, I didn't think much of it at all. To me, it sounded like a nice compliment about a father-son bond. But my wife says it crossed a major line, and she wants to completely cut off contact with the neighbor. Am I just being clueless here? Is my wife overreacting? Or is this genuinely as inappropriate as she thinks? So, I mean, was it inappropriate? I mean, I wouldn't say it's completely inappropriate. Was it necessary to write all that? No, I don't think it was. The gift itself was fine, was a book. I don't know. I think it's a little weird that would be written in there. Like, she'd actually write, like, "Oh, just like your dad." Like, okay, why would you say that? Why would you say this is about heroes just like your dad? Like, did he do something super specific in the past that was like hero behavior? That's just a little weird. I don't think it's suspicious or sus. I mean, I think really it's just a little weird to be writing that. You're so lucky to have him. I don't know. Maybe she's literally looked at him like how he's like such a great dad. She's gotten to know him and his wife and family and sees how a great dad and involved with his kids are. I don't know. Like I said, I don't think it's totally inappropriate. I think it is a little weird to write that. Did the wife overreact? Like, I don't know if I'm missing something, that it became literally like complete flirting with him. Why would she write it? Why would she have it like written? So now it's like always there. They're going to see that. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. But I don't think it is completely inappropriate. I think it's definitely unnecessary to write the whole "your dad is a hero, you're so lucky to have him." I do think that was unnecessary. I do think the wife is overreacting, like basically saying she wants to cut off all contact with the neighbor. Top comment was, "I feel like your wife would be able to explain a lot more about why she didn't like that note. Also, what's your occupation? Because calling someone a hero is kind of weird unless you saved her life or work as a first responder or something of that nature." And that's what I'm thinking. Why would you call him a hero? Unless he literally works in a field where it's like there's a bunch of heroic actions going on, or just, basically a medical field or something or an action of some kind in his work in the past that literally saved something, like someone, something, or just like anything basically. Someone underneath that had then posted, "That's because it's flirtation." So someone then after that says, "Maybe, but she could just be remembering a time when he defended her back in middle school. It doesn't have to be this big thing. It might be the wife's insecurities." I mean, the husband, OP, did actually write that she did seem pretty insecure in the beginning and then let it go. So I don't know if this is also like, I don't know. Honestly, this is like every Reddit story. He just needs to actually speak with his wife and get the actual what is going on. He needs to get the full description of how she's feeling about this situation. What does it mean to her? And in that case, if you're really confused why the neighbor put that down, go talk to the neighbor with the wife and say, "Hey, that was a little weird. Why did you do that?" I think they're making it bigger than it needs to be. So either, I don't know. I think everyone's like confused here, but OP literally needs to speak with his wife. And then if it's still that big of a deal, then they need to go talk with the neighbor together. And just say, hey, tone it down a little bit. Let's not be writing stuff like that just because it's a little much. It's a little weird, but I mean, that just makes it weird then between the neighbors. I don't know. To me, if someone did that and we had a neighbor and they did that to Justin, like writing something in our kid's book, and I'd be like, that's a little weird. Okay, well, I don't know. I don't have that insecurity about anything happening. I'm completely like okay with him talking to other people, like, and he could be a little I feel like being kind is sometimes considered flirty, and that's definitely both him and I. So I don't know. That's why I probably don't have that feeling. Anyways, this was 21 days ago, and there is obviously no update, and I'm so sorry, my voice. I need to get a drink. Ooh, because it is just me tonight talking. I am talking literally for everyone, so I am going to need a couple little breaks tonight. Okay, we're gonna go to the next one. So this one is from r/traumatize them back. And actually, they're shorter stories, but I do love these short stories sometimes because they are completely hilarious. They're just like little, tiny little things in their life that you're just like righteous comebacks. It's like, and it's all in the moment. So sometimes it's just like when you can think that fast and you're like, boom, I'm just going to do this. And you're just like, yes, queen. So, okay. This one is a stranger. Okay. A stranger put her hand on my pregnant wife's belly. I think all of you guys know from that title what people are probably thinking. How would you react? Because I already know how I would react. Okay, we're going to see what this person did. So it's considered a clever comeback. See, told you. Good comebacks here. I just discovered this subreddit and had to share. This was posted 25 days ago. I remember when my wife was pregnant with our first kid, we were at the grocery store when this random woman in the produce section swoops in like she's Gandalf blessing Frodo's journey. Okay, good comparison. Oh my word. She puts her hand right on my wife's belly, doesn't even ask, and goes, "Oh, when are you due?" Without missing a beat, my wife says, I'm just fat. Thanks for that. And for context, my wife is 5'10" tall. This lady's face went white immediately. She froze and didn't apologize. She didn't say another word, and then she just shuffled away, clutching her cantaloupe like it was a security blanket. Meanwhile, I'm over there by the bananas, laughing like an idiot, because honestly, if you're bold enough to grab a stranger's stomach, you deserve to walk out of that store questioning every life choice you've ever made. I congratulate this woman because so many times, and this is seriously no joke, I've actually been the opposite. So when it's like after I've had my kid and I can't lose that weight, and I'm sorry I'm still there. I still can't lose that baby weight that I've gotten from all my kids being pregnant. And I literally feel like I'm still sticking my stomach out like it's pregnant. That's just how I seriously think my weight's been carried. It's not even like in my for you ladies out there, the fupa or the fanny pack. It literally looks, my weight is definitely carried where I look like I'm still pregnant, and just putting it out there. Okay. But that's where I literally I've always thought, if I ever go out and someone ever decides to put their hand on my belly or just ask me how far along I am and I'm actually not pregnant, I was just going to probably lie and just tell them like, oh yeah, I'm 20 weeks along, or I'm like, 12, 14 weeks along. This is my fourth kid. And I just feel like I just totally straight up lie and just tell them I'm pregnant, because I'm sorry. That is exactly what I'd be worried about. Someone actually coming in thinking I am pregnant. And this person, I'm glad this person did this. This is literally why you don't ever assume if someone's pregnant, even if they're about like literally to pop the baby. I am That is a thing. You just don't assume. I literally think I went to a Jimmy John's one time and I saw this sign that says, never assume a woman is pregnant unless the baby is actually coming, like literally popped out between her legs. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I've seen this sign. It was like facts of life, or like advice for life, and that was one of them. Never assume a woman is pregnant unless the baby is coming out between their legs. I'm just like, dang, Jimmy John's, like, dang, way to keep it real. Because it is true. Never assume a woman's pregnant. Like, I've been to church and we have tons of pregnant women at church, but sometimes they don't announce it on Facebook. So honestly, I don't even realize until they're like really far along and they're at church and they're just, I'm like, oh, so sometimes until they like literally mention something about a little sibling, and I'll be like, oh my gosh, I'm so happy for you. When are you due? And that's like, I know, because I know the families and I know they don't, have anyone else there than if they're pregnant. So just like, unless you completely 100% true, like that, from someone, or they posted it, or, literally, especially strangers, like what gives you the right to come up and just touch anyone? Like whether it's for having a baby or not, like especially pregnant women, don't touch them. They don't want to be touched. You kidding me? They don't even want to be touched by their own husbands and kids if they're pregnant. Don't touch a random person. Shame on you, person. That wife taught her good. So traumatize them back. Hashtag traumatize them back. Let's make that a thing. Let's make that a thing out there. Okay, so top comment for this was, my mom used to just deadpan stare them in the eyes while grabbing them by the tit or rubbing their belly back. Okay, I don't know what that comment, I should have looked at that comment before I read it. That was weird. Okay. Well, someone underneath that, we're going to move on from that. I don't know. Someone in the underneath that said, oh, I thought we were inappropriately touching strangers today. Does this make you feel uncomfortable? So yeah, there we go. That's good. Okay. Yeah, now everyone's just like saying, oh, you should, like coming up with comebacks to tell the person. Honestly, that is literally something. She's like doing the opposite what I would do. Instead of saying that she is pregnant, she'd be like, no, I'm just fat. Like, shame on you for touching me and my belly, my fat belly. Okay, we're gonna move on. I'm gonna get weird here. Okay, the next one I have is, okay. This is from r/confession. This is from 1 month ago. It's called, the title is, My Old Job Kept Paying Me for Months After I Quit, and I Never Said a Word. I mean, it kind of sounds illegal, but I don't know the details on how that goes with changing jobs and I don't know how that lays out. Okay, so it goes on saying, I quit my retail job a few years back. I put in my 2 weeks, a few years back. How long's, it's just paying for months. Okay. Ooh, I kept thinking, like, did they do this for years? You'd be rich, babe. Okay, I quit my retail job a few years back. I put in my 2 weeks, said my goodbyes, and thought I was done. A couple weeks later, I receive a check in my account, and there's a paycheck sitting there like I was still working. At first, I figured maybe it was for leftover hours or something, but then another check hit, and another. This went on for like 4 months straight. I'd be sitting at home watching Netflix and boom, direct deposit like I just worked a 2 full 40 hours week. I kept expecting HR to call me or send a letter, but nothing. I didn't go crazy spending because I was paranoid they'd want it back. I mean, same girl, same. But I definitely used it for rent and groceries. Same, I would do the same. I wouldn't go crazy, but I'd definitely be like, oh, I'm sorry. I thought, this was just stuff that you never gave me before. Then one day the money just stopped showing up and I never heard a word. It's been years now, and I still wonder if they ever realized or if some payroll system just kept me on autopilot until someone noticed. Like, how do you not notice that you're sending extra money to someone that's not working there anymore? I mean, okay, it's retail, and retail is like in and out with people working, employees. They're like all over the place because it could be like teenagers, having to go back to school. They come back in the summer, or you got college students, the same thing. Or you just, people in retail, they're in and out. They're not there forever. Unless you're one of those people listening right now and you're still in retail and it's been how many years, that's where you like to be. That's all cool. That's all. I just know that as kind of like retail and fast food restaurants. It goes in and out a lot of times for the people. You know who it is. You know who they are. It's just sometimes the people that go in and out. I don't know about this person. I'm just saying, So I'm wondering if they got mixed up thinking it was someone that still worked there and they just kept putting them. So the bad thing is there might be someone out there that was actually working and not getting their money. So this person was probably getting someone else's actual paycheck that was supposed to get it. I don't know. That seems a little bit weird, but if she ain't getting in trouble and it's been years later, I wouldn't worry about it. But I don't know. Would you feel like you're obligated to call them? I mean, honestly, I think I would. I'd be like, hey, I'm getting extra money, and I think it's from my old job that I'm not there anymore. So I would think that maybe we need to call them and just tell them, hey, I got this paycheck, and I think it's not supposed to be... I don't know. I think within after like the next month, if I was still getting it, then I would call, because I'd probably be thinking like the same thing. Oh, are these leftover hours? But now it's been a month and I'm definitely not making more, like I'm not working hours there. So I'd probably say the same thing. But hey, girl, I hope you use that money to, you said use it for rent and groceries. I get it. Groceries are like a bomb. They're just abominable. They're just horrible right now. So, you know what? Work it. Get it. You need that money. What are they going to do? What are they going to do? Do you know what they're going to do? I don't know. Okay. We'll go to the next one. I'm not even going with comments there. That was just like a quick and really easy one to go off of. Like I said, we're flying through these. I'm actually flying through these a lot faster than I thought, because it's, it's just me, guys. And I thought I was going to be talking a lot more on my points, but these are like really quick, boom, 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 boom stories. So if you're like so tired of listening to me from now on, I mean, get used to it. This is my podcast. But I can talk what I want. I can talk how I want. But sometimes it is nice to have a little bit of that back and forth with people. That's why I wanted to start that. I wanted to have someone always talking with me. But we'll see. I'm trying to work some stuff at my place to get like a little, not studio, because I ain't that rich, but I'm gonna like put a little corner in my house where it's gonna be where my setup is. I'm gonna have a couple of like chairs, or maybe like a little couch or something, so then I can have actual people that I want to interview, that I don't want to do it over like the computer and the like video calls, that I want to actually do like in person, because sometimes doing it in person and seeing their reaction, so much better. I love it. And eventually then, when I have that little setup already, then we'll do audio. So that's something to look forward to, right? You want to see my face, my like pretty face? No, who knows? Okay, moving on to the next one. This is from 1 month ago. It is from r/am I the a-hole. It is, am I the a-hole? Do not want a service dog to participate in my wedding. So this is a throwaway account. It says, I'm 28 female, and I am getting married in the spring. I've asked one of my best friends to be one of my bridesmaids. She has a service dog for PTSD. I respect her dog and glad that she has it in her life. My fiance and I don't particularly care for dogs, though, and we've decided we don't want her service dog in our photos or in the ceremony. When I asked her, she got excited and immediately said her dog could wear something to match the rest of the bridesmaids. That's when I explained that the dog could come to the wedding, but wouldn't be an active participant in the day. We don't want it to be in the photos or in the ceremony. It could go to photos, but not be in them. It'll be off to the side for like 10 to 15 minutes in the ceremony, and then preliminary there's my word, preliminary discussions with our photographer. We've brought this up. She did not take it well, though. Called me an a-hole and ableist. Oh, goodness. She called me an a-hole and ableist, and it was not a constructive conversation after the ask. She hasn't accepted my offer to be a bridesmaid, but also hasn't declined formally. Am I the a-hole? Ooh, I mean, okay, here's the thing. If you would have said, we want you to be our bridesmaid, but your dog can't be there at the wedding. I'm sorry, you're going to have to leave your dog at home. Just, we can't have him. No, I think you can be fine for one day without him. That I would definitely say you were the a-hole, but that is not the case here. The case is, you said the dog can come. You can have your service dog, but for the ceremony and for the photos, we don't want him to be present in them. Like, he can be there, but just not be literally next to you. I think that's reasonable. I mean, if you don't care for dogs, I mean, I'm not saying it's your wedding, do what you want, because I mean, it truly is, but you are actually also accommodating to your friend's needs to have this dog. Still be present, still be there, but not be completely like right there in the ceremony and photos, like literally anywhere else. So honestly, I honestly think you're fine. You are not the a-hole, my girl. You are not the a-hole. I think what you're doing is reasonable. Let's go to some comments. So some comments are, first one, it's a long one. Okay. I'm probably going to get downvoted to heck. Oh, great star. Okay. But I have a service dog. I was also maid of honor in my BFF's wedding. My service dog was sat in the front row with her family during the ceremony and wasn't included in the formal pictures. It wasn't a constant thing. It was 15 minutes here and 5 minutes there. I could still see my dog and she could see me. She still alerted just fine when I was feeling overwhelmed. It's not a huge ask to not have the dog be a part of the ceremony. Keep the dog in the front row and off to the side during formal pics. Bride needs to decide if she's willing to take the chance that there will be a meltdown because her PTSD may be triggered. Friend needs to decide the same. Okay, that makes sense. Like, no, okay, I first thought this when she says I'm going to be downvoted, like tons. No, honestly, she's literally lived this experience. She has a service dog. She had to be in the bridal party right up there front and center. And she's just saying, keep the dog off to the side. Make sure, the dog is still going to keep an eye on you to make sure that they can take care of you. But also make sure that anything could happen. Wedding days for anyone, not even just the bride and groom, but for the others, can be stressful. So there is always that risk that something could happen, like she said, a meltdown, or she could be triggered, and that will alert the dog to come. And I'm sorry, that also means could take the attention. I'm rolling my eyes at that part. Taking the attention off the bride and groom of their wedding day. I honestly, if this was in my case, I would want to do what if this was truly my best friend, I would want them to bring that dog. Honestly, I love animals too, so I would probably want the dog to be in the pictures. It'd be so cute, and then we'd probably get a couple pictures without the dog. Yeah, just why is it a big deal? Have some with the dog, cute little outfit. Have some without the dog. It's completely fine. The ceremony, yeah, because the dog might be like completely like, I don't know, who knows if they'll sit well or not. If it's a service dog, they probably are well trained, but if I was a bride who was not a fan of dogs, didn't mind them, but just wasn't a fan of them and didn't want them right there in my pictures, I honestly think what she's doing is fine. Just be ready to know that if something happens, that dog's going to be there for your bridesmaid. So just be aware of that. And if that is something you do not want to happen, like you don't want to even risk having happen, then you shouldn't have that best friend or that friend be your bridesmaid. Just simple as that, dear. So, okay. So the person underneath had said, I felt the same way. Also, they'll be with people they generally know, or in theory, a safe place. Not going against the service dog, but for a few minutes for pictures when the dog is still allowed to be within range. I don't think it's a huge ask. Okay, exactly. I think having the dog there, great consideration for the friend to have the dog there with them. Just for like, literally the person had said 10, 15 minutes here for the photographer, for that bridesmaid to be without, like, right next to their dog. And then for the ceremony won't take long. Unless they have long vows, then maybe it's a little long. But maybe the bridesmaid could be at the end, so if she has to go, she could, like, slip out. I mean, think of all of it. Think of all the what ifs if you really want your bridesmaids to be there. Think of all the what ifs you could do in case something does happen and she needs to go away and, I guess, get herself together again. Okay, so that was, I think that was a month ago, and there's no update. So we're going to move on to the next one. Okay. Whew. One last story. Let's get through to this. You can already tell with my voice, I'm kind of losing it. It's because I've been talking so much. And I've already had a full day of already talking. What's new? So, final update is from r/best of Redditor updates, which is also bore. Not boring, but it's bore. Best of Redditor updates. So this one's going to probably be a very good one. This one is, am I the a-hole for laughing at my stepson and ruining his wedding? There was a newest update. That's how I got this. Okay, so this was originally posted from April 18th of 2025. So it was a few months ago. But this was, it starts off saying, throwaway, shortened for character count. For context, I have been married to my husband for just over 20 years. We started dating when my stepkids were 5 and 3. Our kids are Adam, 28, stepkid number 1. Ben, 26, stepkid number 2. Charles, 20. David, 17. And Ellie, 13. Adam is getting married. So Adam is the oldest and the first stepkid. Adam is getting married at the end of summer to his fiancée, Alice, 27. We have all been very excited for them. All of the kids have roles for the wedding. Charles is the best man, which Charles is... Oh, that's so funny. Charles is the best man, but Charles is OP's and her husband's kid together. So it's not even Ben, who's the sibling of Adam. This is the half-sibling. Interesting. Okay, so all the kids have roles for the wedding. Charles is the best man, and the other 2 boys are groomsmen, and Ellie is a junior bridesmaid. Oh, that's cute. Okay, so last weekend we had a dinner for my husband's birthday. All of the kids attended along with Alice. The topic of the wedding came up again, and this is where it started to go downhill. Ellie brought up that she was so excited to go dress shopping and that we planned to go to a bigger city in a few weeks to get her a dress and me, a stepmom, of the groom dress. At that, Alice looked at Adam sideways and responded that we only needed to worry about one dress, Ellie's. Ellie kind of laughed and said, "What are you expecting Mom to wear, a suit?" Alice responded with, "My name isn't going. You know we are keeping our guest list very limited to only family and a few close friends." What? That's what it says. What? Adam and Alice have been to our house numerous times for holidays, dinners, just to say hi since they've been engaged. This has never been brought up. Pretty quickly, things escalated. The Cliff Note version, I love that, Cliff Notes, if anyone grew up with that. The Cliff Notes version is that Charles asked them to clarify if they were choosing to uninvite me now or if I was never invited. Alice confirmed the latter. Why? Adam said it's because I'm not his mom. Charles, David, and Ellie argued with Adam and Alice that none of them were going to go if I wasn't invited. That it was cruel to leave me out, given I've been his parent for the majority of his life and loved him like my own. My husband and I admittedly sat there for a minute, just freaking shocked. Me too. Adam finally turned to my husband and said, well, my husband told him he wouldn't be going either. Good for you, husband. Yes, we love that. Okay. Adam then turned to me and asked if I was really going to let everyone ruin his wedding on my behalf. Here's where I might be the a-hole. I just laughed. Sorry. I mean, if you're so shocked, how else can you respond to this? When everyone's literally saying, we're not going if she's not going. And you just be like, well, look what you did there, son. I don't know what came over me, but the entire thing was just so ridiculous that my husband, I'd be waiting. Oh, sorry. So ridiculous that I laughed. That laughing was the only thing I could get out. I told my husband I'd be waiting in the car and left. And then I promptly bawled my eyes out. Oh, I would be bawling my eyes out too, honestly. I'd probably be actually more emotional than laughing at first. Anyways, Charles, David, and Ellie are not talking to Adam. Adam called my husband yesterday to try and smooth things over. He was still adamant, I'm not invited, and it's their wedding. It's also requested I apologize for laughing at him. My gosh, the audacity. My husband told him, tough crap. The other word. It's their wedding and they can invite whoever they want, but they can't control who will actually go. He said they owe me an apology and that Adam should be ashamed of himself. I'm getting texts now asking WTF I did and why I'm being a step monster and ruining the wedding. Am I the a-hole? That is crazy. No, absolutely not. Like, how? How are you? You did nothing wrong. You literally just sat there and let everyone call out the BS on the first son. Like, at least everyone is like older in age, so they're all like deciding, well, you can't have me in the wedding, or you can invite me, but I ain't gonna go if she's not gonna be going. But you've been married for just over 20 years with your husband, so you've been in Adam's life since he was, how old was he? He had to be less than 8 years old, and that's a long time to be in his life. How is he not considering you a part of the family if it's 20 years, over 20 years, and he's still not inviting you to the wedding? This is so crazy. Okay, we got a lot, I think, going, so I'm just going to go right into it. So some of the comments that were made through all this, someone had commented, I feel like there's a lot missing here. You've been married to his dad since he was 8. That was years of elementary, middle school, high school, college, 20 years. Is his mother living? Did his fiance influence him? Just seems odd to not invite his dad's wife of 20 years and call her not family. I don't think you're the a-hole, but I just want to know more about the past 20 years. I do too, same. This is crazy. For 20 years, you're still not considering this person a part of the family. Like, I've known long-time people in my family who've been dating someone, never been married, but they're like long-time partners, and they would still be invited. I think we still did invite them to our wedding, even though they weren't technically even married. These people are married and have been over for 20 years. That's ridiculous. Like, I don't care if it's small and intimate. This is your dad's wife. that has helped raise you. Like, I don't know. Okay, so OP had responded to that saying, I am sorry, I had to cut out a lot for the character count to post. When Adam called, my husband did ask him if I had done anything. If it was related to Biomom, she has never gotten along with us. If I had overstepped in any way, I can already tell you, if they haven't gotten along with Biomom, and if she's still in the picture, there's gotta be something. Okay, if I had overstepped in any way, Adam says no, it's just they want family only. Stepdad is, oh my gosh, no. Stepdad is invited as far as we know. I am a stay-at-home mom for most of my stepkids' childhood, and we had 50-50. My husband has always worked a lot, but has been as involved as possible. The house and the child rearing mostly fell to me, though. I love our kids to pieces. I thought we had made it clear from the beginning that was another parent that loves them, not a replacement mom. Good for you. That's exactly how it should go. We've never had any issues, and I thought up until now that we were particularly close. Our communication has slowed since he met Alice, but he was calling me about once or twice a week prior to this. Alice and I have gone shopping on occasion, gotten lunch. I even went with her to the florist for the wedding because her mom wasn't available and Adam called into work. No way. She even helped her do wedding shopping things, and they still didn't have the gall to tell her that she wasn't invited? That's messed up. No, that something happened suddenly to make this change. Okay, so there has to be something or someone causing an issue, and my husband and I are baffled. Exactly, girl. I would be too. Someone else commented, is his mom invited? And OP responded, yes, as far as we've heard, stepdad is also invited. We, my husband and I, have never gotten along with mom, but still play nice as we still have 50-50 of younger stepson, Ben, who is 26. Yeah, he's 26. Here we go. Adam and his mom had a falling out a few years ago as she was starting to treat him the way she's always treated husband and I, that is poorly. I don't know how to nicely explain other than she's a narcissist. Adam hasn't wanted to talk about it much, and we won't push it. I know they talk and visit still, but how close they are, I have no idea. So custody of Ben at 26. A comment, yes, he is disabled. Oh. Well, that would make sense about Charles then being the best man. So Ben is disabled. Okay. Yes, he is disabled. He can choose where he is staying as he likes, but mostly sticks to a 50-50 schedule still unless there is a family event or vacation. He is pretty independent but not able to live on his own. Guardianship is probably a better work for what we have now instead of custody. Commenter, absolutely not the a-hole. Assuming you and Adam have gotten along fine until now, it's absolutely wild that they wouldn't invite you. Only family and a few close friends. When a step-parent literally counts as family. And the nerve to accuse you of ruining his wedding. I don't blame you for laughing. Alright, so OP responded, it's probably also relevant, but my husband's parents are long since deceased. My parents, dad, stepmom, and mom, have been very involved with all of the kids since they were little. They are also not going, since if I am not family, they aren't either. Wait a minute. So her parents, her own parents, the grandparents of her stepmom were invited and were going, but not the stepmom herself. This is absolutely wild. Okay. They were also not going, since if I'm not family, they aren't either. My brother and sister-in-law, their daughter, my cousin, they call him uncle, and several of my other family members that have been around since the kids were little have also dropped. So there's so many people that he invited on her side, yet they are saying she's not invited and she's not considered family. But the rest of them are, the ones that actually, were invited into the family because she married this man. Like, yeah, no, this is bonkers. Okay. There are up to like 20 people that have rescinded their yes RSVP for a wedding of maybe 60 people. Oh. So someone, oh yeah, see, they got that too. Commenter, wait, hold up. Your family was invited, but not you? Then what the heck did Adam expect when it came out that you're not invited? OP responded, that's my family's take. Why are they invited, but I'm not? They aren't related to my stepkids by blood either, but are apparently family. To be fair, my family is larger than my husband's. Stepdads and biomoms. My stepkids were the first grandkids on my side. They were not with the biomom and dad's family, and were absolutely spoiled, rotten growing up. Charles is now supposed to meet Adam for coffee over the weekend. I've warned him that truly I don't think it's coming from Adam, and to try to be calm about it. Comment asked for info. What is the nature of your relationship with Adam, and is his mother in the picture? Could his fiance be in his ear? OP had responded, I thought we were particularly close besides the normal teenager. I don't have to listen to you. BS phase. We have never fought. We've always had him and Ben 50-50, and as a teen and he's butted his head with his mother. There have been times over the years where Adam had come to my husband and I and asked questions from things his mom has said, but we've always been forthcoming with info. Example of that is that his mom called me a homewrecker. This upset Adam. Adam came pissed to us. Explained that biomom and dad were long since broken up, and mom even had a fiance who was not current stepdad when I met dad. Oh my word. Pulled receipts. Adam is now upset with biomom, blew over and on to the next thing. We still deal with biomom though, and I do have a hard time believing she'd be pulled. I have a hard time believing she'd pull something at this point. Alice and I aren't super close, but I thought I had a good relationship with her. I have always tried to include her. Sometimes she takes up my offer and sometimes she doesn't. I know she sees biomom quite a bit. Ooh, that's not good. And that side of Adam's family too. She was raised by her grandparents and does not talk about bio parents often. Oh, okay. Okay, let me see. There's quite more comments. I'm trying to see if they're relevant just because we're getting a little long here now. Okay, so Ben, at this point, they asked how Ben reacted to this. They said Ben was very upset and confused. He is autistic, so what exactly the argument was about doesn't quite click, but he's mostly upset. Adam says that I'm not their parent and his siblings are all fighting. I think they're going to try and explain that to him a little bit better and get him to like calm down. More info on everyone's relationship. I don't really know if we really need to know all this. That's a lot of information. Okay. My goodness, there's a lot of information. Thank you for your thoughtful comments. Okay, so one more thought from OOP in response to a longer comment. Thank you for your thoughtful comment. Adam will be always my first son, whether he thinks of me as his mom or not. I thought we had been pretty clear throughout the years that I love him regardless of what he thinks of me, and that my involvement extends to whatever he wants of me and some fair non-negotiables, mostly safety things, chores his dad agreed on when I asked, that kind of thing. I couldn't get in with my therapist this week, but I do have an appointment next week, and we will try to formulate a well-thought-out response back. I am certainly not a perfect person or parent, but I won't intentionally sabotage him further. I do love a good revenge story, but that's not it when it comes to my kids. I've talked to the youngest 3, and they have reassured me that that it's their choice whether or not they go, and I won't push them on it. I have been reminding them that he is still their brother, and it doesn't sound like him, mostly for Charles. He is very outspoken and protective. Charles is supposed to meet with him this weekend, and I'm hoping we'll get some clear answers from that. So 5 days later, there is an update. Hi, Reddit friends. My update was taken down for Am I the A-hole for not having a good enough conclusion, but I do have an update. Just copy paste. Thank you for everyone who responded to my post. Most of you were kind and offered good advice. I appreciate it. Before I give an update, I just want to answer a few frequently asked questions. I am not an affair partner. My husband did not cheat on his ex-wife with me. We met about a year after they divorced. She had already engaged, not to current stepdad, but not that it really matters. So we already kind of know what happened here on the divorce. When Ben was at the dinner, he is autistic. I went into it more in some of my comments, but he was very upset. He didn't understand what the argument was exactly about, but he most likely was upset at Adam for saying that I wasn't their parent. Anyways, the update, the short is, if you guessed it, it was related to biomom. You were correct. I didn't want this to be the case. Okay, let's get into it. Adam rescheduled with Charles for Monday, citing Easter weekend. Fair enough. He also texted my husband to let him know that him and Alice would be doing Easter with her parents. We expected that. At some point on Sunday, Ellie texted Alice. I am not sure what exactly was said, but it prompted Alice to spill everything that was going on with her parents. I have met them a few times, but they live a few hours away. They encouraged her and Adam to reach out to us to clear everything up. Monday, we dropped Ben off to Biomom's. He stayed an extra night for Easter fun. A few hours later, she began to blow up my husband's phone as Ben mentioned the fight. Oh no. My husband answered one call in which she was screaming and promptly hung up. He texted her that siblings argued, everything is fine, and that if Ben has any further questions, we will talk about it when he's back with us. From some of the things she texted, we knew she was the root of it all. Monday, Adam also met up with Charles and did come clean. Charles texted us to see if it was okay if they came over after, and we said yes. I'm not gonna lie, Adam looked a mess. He immediately began crying and apologizing. The short and sweet is that he's been trying to mend bridges with Biomom. Their wedding isn't 60 people, it's blowing up to about double that, and they have been struggling to figure out how to pay for it. At one of their visits, Alice let it slip, and Biomom jumped to help pay for things. It slowly snowballed from there, from small request to big request. I am not sure what the final nail in the coffin was, but it ended up with Biomom requesting I not be there. Adam said it was easier to hurt me and risk World War III with his mom. Are you be freaking for real? No, that can't be easier. Look at now. You just caused a war with your siblings. I don't know what his reasoning behind that was. Alice's parents were less than pleased to find out how they've been with the wedding budget, and even less so at Biomom's antics. They were trying to figure out how to start covering the payment Biomom has made. We've decided to help some with this. Adam also asked if we could meet again in a few days with Alice, and we said yes. There is still a lot of ground to cover for this to be close to mended. I am still hurt, but mostly I'm angry on behalf of my oldest son. Okay, this must be final update. This is from 1.5 months later, so we've gone into it a little bit more now. Final update. It's been a while, but I have an update. I did post a prior update already, but it was taken down. Not being clear. Blah, 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 blah. So here's the longer unfiltered version of that update. To catch up everyone really quick. Okay, we already read through this. messes the bio mom. Okay. After a week of that, actually, hold on. Adam came over to have a conversation with us after talking with Charles. He's been reconnecting with his mother over the last year, and she's the real root of everything. It started with small requests as they got closer, then she's paying for things at the wedding, and escalated to me being uninvited. About a week after that, Adam and Alice came over for another convo. Husband and I read through all of their comments and already read through all of Reddit's, so your comments, and already had a game plan. We explained that while we love them to bits and forgive them, this is still a big F up, and they need to hold themselves accountable for 1, the mess with bio mom, and 2, how they treated me. It wasn't just about the dinner. It was also about the months they allowed ex-wife to talk crap to them. We would not be bailing them out financially for this. I haven't pried into too many details, but Adam had talked with his mom. She was calm and agreed to everything, he said. Suspicious. Mostly that they will not exclude me from future events or tolerate any unkind words about me moving forward. Him and Alice canceled their wedding. Oh, they canceled! They got back a good portion of their money, mostly to pay back bio mom. When he tried to drop off a check to her, she absolutely lost it. Adam hasn't wanted to talk much about the things that were said, but he has told us they are currently no contact. I won't say the exact date, but Adam and Alice asked us all to meet for dinner. Okay. I won't say the exact date, but Adam and Alice asked us to all meet for dinner. We got there and Alice's parents, siblings were there too. It wasn't just dinner. They eloped. Oh, so sweet. Okay, so they eloped. We got to go to the courthouse with them and then celebrate thereafter. They seemed so happy. Oh, I'm so happy for them. And you got to be there. Okay, 3 days later, Hubs was at work and I was coming home from errands when I got a very panicked call from Ellie. Ex-wife was outside pounding on our door and screaming her head off. I gave Ellie instructions and then called 911. I then called my husband. Oh, great. Okay. Oh, goodness. Scary mom. When I got there, ex-wife was already detained. She hadn't broken in but had damaged the outside of her door and the siding surrounding it. And she was still screaming. The stuff she was saying was absolutely vile, and the most of the reason I haven't wanted to update. It was everything that she hates me, and it's my fault. Adam won't talk to her, so to stealing my kids from me won't replace the ones you've lost. Oh, stealing my kids from me won't replace the ones you've lost. Dude. That's a low blow. I'm guessing we've had some miscarriages, and that's mean. Okay. After that comment, I tuned out the rest until she was placed in the back of a cop car. It's important context, but we've had several miscarriages, one of which I know ex-wife knew about. What I really think she was getting at is the baby we had in between David and Ellie, who was full term and stillborn. Oh, bless her heart. That is so hard. Every miscarriage is hard. I know. It really is. I've been through one myself, but having it being full term and stillborn, that is, I'm sorry, but every miscarriage is so hard, but having a full term stillborn miscarriage, I think is the absolute worst of all miscarriages, because you were so close to having that baby just for it to slip away. That's so sad. My heart goes towards you, girl. That's so hard. Okay, sorry. Okay. I still don't understand how anyone could say something so awful and carry so much hate. Yeah. putting it out there is hard, and honestly, I don't have much comment on it other than I'm lucky to have the husband I do, and we love that for you, hon. That husband has been amazing, nothing but amazing towards you. Some of the charges we decline to pursue. Some of the PD will be pursuing regardless if we ask them to or not. She has already bailed out, but our restraining order has been granted pending a court date with the judge. From the bits and pieces we hear, ex-wife's family has put her on lockdown. Her brother works for the department that arrested her. No, that's such bad reputation right there. Her brother worked for the department that arrested her, so that has been quite the talk of the town, no doubt, no doubt. We have not heard from her since, and her mother has told my husband we absolutely won't be hearing from her or having any other issues. We have been doing exchanges for Ben with stepdad. My gosh. Oh my gosh, that was quite the story. That was it. That's it. That's the end of it. To end on that note, that was a crazy thing to end on. Just mom getting arrested. Bye, mom is arrested. But honestly, there's something wrong with her. There's something wrong with that woman. There's a reason why she was like in and out of Adam's life. But she has so much hate towards you. And I feel like I see that sometimes with step parents, is that even if you weren't like even involved in their life until after you guys were separated or divorced for so long, there is sometimes always going to be that extreme like jealousy or hatred towards that person that you're with, because you're realizing the marriage didn't work with me, but somehow it's worked with you, and that makes it worse for other people. But I mean, she's with her husband, so why does it matter? Like, I don't know. I just don't get people. Guys, I don't get people sometimes. They're just ridiculous. But the good thing is, I know out of that was like a terrible way to kind of end on a like vile things to be said and everything. But Adam, the best scenario came out as Adam turned around, apologized. They paid and worked for taking accountability. They took accountability. That's what I'm trying to say. They eloped and surprised them for adding them on to their... I think that's amazing. I think that's amazing that they were still involved, and they were then, like, she was considered as family. And it was all because of Bio Mom. Ugh. Just... yeah, there's sometimes, even if someone's paying for, like, stuff in your wedding, I know people feel like they can take that as a reason to have a reason in your say of what they should do at your wedding. But no, you should be like, well, I would be so happy to take this money, but you can't tell me what to do. You just tell them no. And if they say, oh, we're going to take this money away, I'm sorry. Then you tell them, okay, fine, and we'll figure something else out. So I'm glad in the end they realized that with the people that they do love and that did support them, they changed their mind and wanted them to only be a part of it and how they wanted the wedding to be. So, okay, guys, that is all my stories I have for you today. And I am parched. We'll just say that. I'm parched. I'm going to chug some water after this. But I wanted you guys to know any of the stories, what kind of caught your attention more, what really hit you, what did you like relate to the most? Did you guys have a story similar to that? Post in the comments anywhere that you're at. You can email, we're on YouTube, so you can comment on that. But anyways, like, guys, let me know, what do you think? Because these are crazy stories that have happened. Some of them are funny, some of them were short, some of them were outrageous. But let me know what you liked. And if you liked this kind of difference where it was just me telling the stories, if you want more of that, hey, let me know. Because I think I want to try and do that more. Getting these stories out, just having me talk, unless you're tired of my voice and I'm just gonna be like, too bad, you're gonna have to listen to me because I'm the host of this. So anyways, I'm sorry, I'm bringing that up again. You guys have been awesome. I've really been glad to get these stories out to you guys, for you to listen. Like, subscribe, rate us, whatever you want to do to keep us, keep this podcast moving in your loop, so you can get that, notification every Monday, getting an episode to listen to. If this is something that, literally, this kind of, I call it brain rot. Because it's like random stories. It's not super serious. It's something that, it's juicy gossip stories that kind of run in the background, that are nice to, while you're working, just literally just listen and do the work kind of stuff in the background. So I'm glad to have given you the juicy, more stories that we usually tell in an episode. And I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your night. You can reach us if you want to email us at theredditrandos@gmail.com. But other than that, have a good rest of your day, and we'll see you later. Goodbye.